I give thanks this day that yesterday we saw a sudden downpour of justice upon our land. But we remember that justice is not to be a sudden downpour, but rather an ever-flowing stream in our society. There's a couple of main reasons that we saw the outpouring of justice yesterday, and that is because the peoples of God have been following the prophet Amos, who said to go and establish justice at the gates of the city. The gates was where the leaders and the elders and the people of God in general would go to discuss justice and make sure that it was established in their society. And what we've seen over the last year is people standing up to injustice in the codified law, injustice in the misapplication of the law in our courts, injustice in the misenforcement of the law on our streets. They've gone to the gates of the city and said, no more will we accept this. And underlying that was a threat of chaos, because whenever injustice is allowed to reign, chaos eventually ensues. And so I think that we've heard a warning from God, and so now it's time to be vigilant. Now it's time to make sure that we join together with the long oppressed and marginalized by the law, that the privileged and the poor and the marginalized continue to go to the gates of the city and insist that our leaders and our citizens in general establish justice. Because justice doesn't just happen. It is something that is established by the peoples of God together. And so we need to go out and consider what justice is. We need to listen to one another. We need to pay attention to the wisdom of our traditions. And we need to simply insist that what is good and right and true in the heart of our hearts and in the gut of all the peoples of God, and that is that people get treated fairly according to the law. That those who are rich and privileged do not get special treatment, that those who are poor do not get special mistreatment. When we insist on these basic, foundational, gut, intuitive senses and applications of the law, then we will see prosperity and peace in our land. If we don't continue to go to the gates of the city and insist on the establishment of justice, then we will see eventually chaos ensue. So please, first, rejoice this day in the downpour of justice, and help yesterday to be a landmark and a new foundation of justice by remembering, first of all, the warning from God and the result of injustice, which is chaos, and then remembering that, continue to be vigilant about going out into the public gates of the city, literally going out into public places in our communities, and also going on public forums and insisting on the establishment of justice in our land. Do so, and we will see wondrous prosperity and peace. We will become the beacon of light that God always intended our nation to be. Thank you for all that you do for establishing justice and peace, and God bless and keep you all.